Look at him. What is up, y'all? Back with another one. It's good to be back. It's good to be cool. And I got a nice little calm video for y'all today. We are going to be making a tier list. A Marvel Rivals tier list. Now, this is going to be my first tier list. I haven't made a tier list on this game, but I feel like, personally, I've been playing this game long enough to, like, at least, voice my opinion on how I feel about each of the characters in this game. As many of you know, I love Marvel Rivals. Play it almost all the time, every day. My highest rank that I hit was Grandmaster 1. So 1 off Celestial. I feel like I have a little bit of know-how, especially after how long I've been playing the game for. So this is my version. I'm gonna do it from the perspective of PC and console because I play both now. What I want to go off of is like what I see in game and how like annoying or how effective most of the characters are. How well put for a fight I think each of them are. So without further ado, we're gonna get into the video. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe. Go watch my last video for Dispatch, episode 1. Episode 2 is on the way. I'm currently editing it right now, and I believe that the next episode dropped today, so that will be out shortly as well. So we're starting with Adam Warlock, and I'm gonna let you know we're already off to a bad start because as much as I think he's good in like 3 heal comps and annoying he is in 3 heal comps with that constant, res right when you get a team wipe, immediate res. I don't think he's a terrible support, but people who, in my experience, people who end up playing Adam are the people that like play DPS but had to heal, and they always pick Ultron and Adam Warlock. So if I had to put him somewhere, his lack of mobility is a problem, and his heals being on a cooldown is even worse. I don't think he's bad enough to put in the C tier. We're gonna go here with B, just like the amount of like times you see him in a 3 heal comp, he's kind of OP. Black Panther. Oh, we're already gonna put Widow in D tier. She's like not as bad as she was in previous seasons, but her damage for me is just too slow. Like, and what's crazy enough, I've run into like a bunch of good Widows, but not enough for me to like be like, let me put her in a higher tier, because she's definitely not better than a lot of the other DPS on her. Black Panther. This one's a little harder. I feel like it's give and take with Black Panther. On console, I feel like he's like a massive threat when he makes it out the ban phase and it's a good BP, which it always feels like there's a good BP on the other team and never on my team. For his character and his kit, all his like nerfs that he got kind of made him easier to kill, I'm not gonna lie, but his damage is still outrageous, I can't lie. But I think I would put him in the same tier as Adam. As much as many people say that like he gets countered by everything, I mean, he's just, good BP players aren't getting countered, to be real. At least not in the ranks I'm in, or on console, or on console. Hulk, most annoying character in the game for me. No, not the most annoying. There's more annoying characters, but Hulk definitely a good tank. But in my lobbies, I feel like Hulk just doesn't ever die, and a good Hulk player is probably the most annoying thing on the battlefield. So kit's good, bubble invincibility is good, damage is pretty solid, alt is underrated. Cloak and Dagger, I'm gonna put you in the A tier. Very good support. I think longest ult in the game now. Personally, I'm kind of growing away from Cloak and Dagger. Maybe it's because I haven't played support in a long time. I think Cloak and Dagger was my first Lord, so I played a good amount of Cloak and Dagger when I first got on the game. I don't know, compared to the other supports, I mean, she still holds her own. I don't know. I want to put her in the S tier, but I think I'm gonna keep her in the A tier for right now. Strange. Personally, I think Strange is S. Bro, Strange's damage is like insane right now. I didn't know that his damage got buffed that much. And mind you, like I just said, I just started playing Strange. He's almost like the perfect tank. He gets countered by like Thor or Emma. I might be biased because I'm a tank main, but Strange is so strong. His ult is like, when you don't have good ults on the battlefield, because I know a lot of comps, especially on console right now, comps are always like Squirrel Girl, Moon Knight, Scarlet Witch, and then you get the occasional Bucky, which is another annoying character right now. Scarlet Witch's ult requires a lot. Squirrel Girl's ult might not always get a kill. Seeing a lot of the characters I've noticed that people play, especially on console, their ults are just kind of weak. All that to say, Strange's ability to completely stop whatever fight is happening is so much more valuable His ability to stop the entire team fight is like beyond effective. That being said, I think I'm gonna put Cap in the A tier. Cap, though his damage is kind of buns, he's very useful. Stalling is by far insane. If Emma is banned, he's like almost impossible to kill. And even if you get somebody like Scarlet Witch or Namor to get auto aim onto him, it still takes a minute for Cap to die, and it's easy for him to be elusive enough to get out and get right back into the fight once again. So I feel like Cap puts just enough pressure to be a good distraction in most games. Groot, I think I'm also gonna put him in the A tier. I want to put him in the S. I really do. Being a Groot man, I really do. I feel like his kit is really good, but his ultimate is so easy to be blocked, encountered in just the most annoying ways. In the most annoying ways, bro. Sometimes Groot ult gets blocked just like hitting a side of a wall or something, or like just a half a second of an invis shield popping up. It kind of like destroys a lot of momentum that you have going with him. Now, obviously, you can time it right and get more value out of it, of course. But I definitely think for both console and PC, he's definitely like in a AS tier. He's like right in between. Hawkeye, I'm gonna put him in the C tier. Shoot me. Game. Like, you have to be very accurate with Hawkeye. Hawkeye mains out there, I'm sorry, but your damage is just so slow to me. Like, it's so slow to me. And having to be accurate that much, almost 100% of the time that you're playing, same as like Black Widow, I personally feel like he's getting saved more by his ult. His ult's kind of OP. And definitely, it's definitely a fight shift when he ults. You have to be aware. The soon as you hear that Hawkeye ult, you need to be ready to stay around cover, get out of the sight lines of him, all that. But I do feel like it's easy for him to be dove and killed. And his ultimate's strong, but not strong enough to like truly make a difference unless everybody's just in line of sight. Easily be killed out of it too. Hela, want to say S tier. Hela is just OP. She's been OP. Being able to put consistent damage, 2 tapping on a headshot is already insane. Her ult also insane. Easy to dodge. Can get countered by Strange, but what else is it really going to get countered by? Her health pool is so large that, it can't get countered by a Phoenix. I forgot about that. I think Hela is S2 hero, and her ult, I believe, kills through a lot of support ults. Doesn't kill the support, but it can kill other. I'm pretty sure it can kill other like DPS or tanks through the ult. Mostly DPS. On to the next, Iron Fist. I'm gonna put Iron Fist in the B tier, but I do think he's like a high B tier because he is a tank destroyer. Oh my gosh! As somebody who plays so many tanks, Iron Fist is awful to go up against. But I do feel like Iron Fist has a little drawbacks when it comes to like taking quick damage. Thor, I feel like it's a good counter for Iron Fist in that way. Or Emma, obvious counter. Emma essentially counters anything in the game. So Iron Fist's damage is still like a little shoddy. It's hard to secure kills. Half the time he's just running around and putting pressure on tanks. But if you can't do that, if it's a tank that's getting heavily supported, it's kind of just, what are you really doing on a battlefield? So now that I say that, because I do feel like Iron Fist's damage is always low in the games that I play with him, I think I'm gonna just keep him in the B tier. Iron Man, also gonna put him in the B tier. I haven't seen a lot of Iron Man this season, and when I do, he is kind of oppressive. Like he's like the new Squirrel Girl. His damage is like still annoying to deal with, and if you don't have any counter for him to shoot at him or put any pressure on him, he becomes so oppressive. Especially as a tank main, you're not often looking behind you, but your supports are just getting battered by Iron Man all game with no pressure, and half the time he's like 15,000 meters away, high in the sky, and he's still doing insane damage because of his overdrive or whatever. I think he's overall pretty good. His ult easily counterable and easily avoidable, but if you don't see it coming, I mean, hey, you're cooked, and it eats through everything. So I think he's overall pretty good. Jeff, I think Jeff is really good. I don't know. If I put him in the A tier, I'm gonna say he's in the low A tier because Jeff is pretty good and he's really annoying. 3 hill comp, he's kind of unstoppable. Like he kind of makes the team unstoppable. He makes tanks unkillable. I hate certain drafts because they play so far back that like it's kind of hard to help exactly with like value. But his constant healing, his constant stream of healing when you're trying to like beat down a tank or wear down a tank or wear down a DPS, and all you see is the DPS's health go straight back up. And like I said, a lot of the DPS in this game have like even if they have quick burst damage and effect, there's always a drawback, like where there's a reload. But Jeff has a constant stream of healing. You're not winning that fight, man. You're not winning that fight. So I think Jeff is strong in that regard. His ult getting a little puddle of healing is kind of good, and it has saved me in a couple situations. A lot of Jeffs I have seen don't really know what to do with that, but a lot of Jeffs I have seen have been putting them in the right place, and they've saved my life for sure. They've saved my life. So I think I'm gonna give Jeff A tier. Loki, haven't seen a lot of Loki. I've heard a lot of people say his heals aren't as effective as they were, but because I haven't seen him a lot, I will put him in the B tier. I will. I'm not entirely sure that his heals are like I know his heals are a little reduced. Yeah, they don't feel massively impactful as they used to, but I don't think they're bad as people say. Now his damage, I do think that's a little rough. I will say that I do think it's a little rough. I still think that Loki works in certain comps. I don't think Loki is unplayable by any regard. I think Loki is still pretty good, pretty powerful. His totems are by far still super effective, and his ult being able to, and even if you don't decide to use a support ult, you can always use a DPS ult and get the same amount of value. Luna, obviously, as still annoying, still broken. Good Lunas are freezing you every chance they get and doing the most outrageous healing. Team up with Adam is low key broken. Low key broken. Having Luna, Adam, and like Cloak and Dagger or Invis in the same comp, absolute worst. Absolute like unkillable support squad I've ever seen. Magic. Ooh. I'm gonna say A. I'm gonna say A just for the fact that Magic is like so strong. So strong. Um as a tank man, I find her a little easier to kill now. But as a deep like when playing DPS, going against Magic is pretty bad. People who do play her right, and I've seen it on PC, just destroy games. Some characters are just beyond broken, but I think Magic is a skill character that you do have to know how to use, and a lot of people know how to use her now, and I think she's pretty strong. Her ult's pretty good. She's fallen a little to the wayside as we get farther into the season, but I still think she's really good. Magneto, obviously S tier. Damage is insane. I personally stay away from playing Magneto because I can't hit his ult for nothing sometimes. I do feel like his ult is really easy to dodge, and it's so unfortunate. I definitely think it's valuable against certain support ults, but sometimes I feel as though it's very easy to just get away from Magneto's ult. It's very strong, but sometimes I do feel like it's very easy to get away from his ult. I think his ult does best when it's countering Iron Man and Punisher and Star Lord. I think that's where I do think that's where he gets his best in his ult. Mantis, I think, is pretty strong this season. I would say high A. Her heals pretty good. Her damage has always been good. I don't hate her heals anymore. I think she can stand in a 2 hill comp if your team is smart enough to understand that the heals aren't going to be as fast coming out as they normally are. I think she can do well in a 2 hill comp with like Invis or Cloak and Dagger, but it really does depend on your comp. I think she fits well when you have 2 DPS that don't exactly give value immediately. If you understand what I'm saying, like Spider-Man, you have to do a lot before you get value. Uh, Black Panther, you have to do a lot before you get value. Both of them, you have to prep before you get value. Versus like a Squirrel Girl, you can just shoot down main and get value. You know what I'm saying, or Bucky, you can shoot down main, or you can shoot at an off angle get value. Hella, you can shoot at off angle get value. But when you have DPS that require a little bit more to give value, maybe flanking or just don't do enough damage output in the moment, like Blade or Mr. Fantastic or Psylocke, then I think Mantis is a good pick. Moon Knight, one of the most annoying characters in the game. I hate Moon Knight. I hate how easy it is to use. I hate how, I'm gonna be honest, I don't hate his Ankh, but I do hate how much damage it does. And I do hate how fast he gets his ultimate charge. His ricochets, his Moon Knight ricochets is ridiculous. It's ridiculous the amount of damage they do. It's too strong. I can't lie, it's too strong. It's sometimes you can't even out heal it because it's so much. And at that point, how do you play when you have someone as elusive as Moon Knight who can just jump straight up or grapple away, fly, do all this, and he can get healed in the air, get a shield in the air, heading back to his supports. It's just, you can force him off certain places, but he'll get right back, and his damage is immediate. So a lot of times you have short times to react. As I say, if he throws an Ankh down, you might as well call yourself cooked if you don't have any escapability. Namor. With Namor, I feel like it's a similar situation where you have something like auto aim, not to the extent of Scarlet Witch, but you have auto aim with squids. Namor having no defense in a regard, and his hitbox is pretty easy to just kind of overload. I do think he's not as annoying as Moon Knight. The only way we find Namor annoying is his team up is broken. His hella team up is kind of insane, and the damage stacks on way faster than you might think. I do think he's still powerful. His ult's pretty good. His team up is insanely good. Him having the ability to anti-heal is extremely good. And he's a good counter to a lot of things. I kind of want to put him in an S tier, if I'm being honest, just for the amount of versatility he has. He can play a flank. He can even dive a little. His bubble, immediately healed out of bubble, you can go back to full health. His damage is kind of ridiculous. Two tapping headshots, even though they're really hard to do. And his fire rate's really slow. I think I can safely put Namor in the S tier. I can't lie. And if he's S tier, I would say low S tier because I think Hela would beat him in any fight. I think Psylocke will beat him in any fight, but I do think Namor is really strong. Penny, I don't think she's strong enough to be put high as B, but I do think a good Penny is disgustingly effective. Even an average Penny against like players who don't shoot the mines, or like even an average Penny that like gets on a certain map. Certain Pennies are really hard to deal with. I think Penny in general, like her mines are kind of just disgustingly OP at times. I've gotten better at avoiding them, obviously, as I kept playing. But on console, it seems like people don't even acknowledge the mines being down. I think the fact that she doesn't have a shield is a big issue when you're on defense, especially if she's solo tanky. She can't solo tank in the slightest. And a lot of tanks in this game can't solo tank, but there are tanks that I feel like above the rest, like Magneto and Strange can solo tank. Groot can even solo tank in a sense because his health pool is so high, and if you team it with a Mantis, it's insane. So I'm gonna be honest with you, you're not doing enough damage to even remotely stop another team. That's what I think. Psylocke S tier by far. Just her ult being is so much better now. Gets so much more value. I feel like it gets insanely more value with people not being able to paticate. It disperses people. It gets people to move out of the way. Like if you need to create space, you can actually create space with Psylocke's ult now, rather than people all just getting close together and just dispersing the damage. The damage is more punching that everyone is actually afraid of the Psylocke ult again, which kudos to that. All around good, burst damage good, mobility good, great. Punisher, I think Punisher is pretty strong, but he's so easy to kill. So easy to kill. I think Punisher is in a similar situation with Psylocke, where his ult can create a lot of space, but you're so vulnerable. But if you're getting healed or if you're popping in at all, you can get a lot of value. If not, it's a little harder. As soon as they hear that ult coming out, man, I've never seen people run and hide so fast. And I think that's good to get space and value. You can take space. You can uh, keep people out of position because they're all, most of the time when Punisher ults, everyone's scattering. They're all scattering. Like no one's going in a certain location. They're not going backwards down main. They're moving to whatever bit of cover they can touch at the time. He counters a lot of flyers, and he gets damage out pretty well and pretty consistent. Rocket, I'm not gonna put him in the S tier, but he's pretty good. I'm not gonna say he's broken, but his ult getting that 40% damage buff is so much better. It affects so much more of the game. Support ults are getting countered, can get countered now. If you have a Rocket and a Thor, you can counter almost every ult in the game now. His beacon is probably one of his best factors. He's simple, but he pushes out healing like you know what. Spider-Man, put him in the C tier. I love Spider-Man in this game. I really do. And I understand like where he gets value, but it's extremely hard to get value on him right now with all the CC in the game right now, and a lot of people catching on, and he just doesn't do enough damage to really like pack a punch that he used to, at least effectively. Ult's actually really better since the buff, but overall it takes him a long time to get value in my eyes. Squirrel Girl, still pretty strong and annoying, but I don't see a lot of people play her anymore. I feel like her ult is getting countered so easily now. People are respecting it now. So like they're either shooting it or she's getting like counter ulted with a support ult, which both in my eyes are pretty effective. I don't see her get a lot of kills even in close corners anymore. I don't see people using her as effectively anymore. If anything, I feel like when I get her on my team, it's probably the worst thing ever. And though her stats like always look good, and it seems like she's getting a lot of value just because of her damage output and the fact that she sits back and shoots down main, so she's not really dying that much unless an ult kills her. She's not really dying that much. I feel like sometimes it brings the illusion of doing well. I think she's powerful enough where I could put her in the B tier. I don't like it, but I'll put her in the B tier. Star-Lord, same thing. I want to put him in the A tier because his ult is kind of his saving grace. His damage output is a little at times, but in terms of like securing kills and getting damage on the battlefield, I feel like essentially he's the same as Punisher. I feel like he works better when the team is actually putting out consistent damage towards certain characters. I think Star-Lord takes high demand in one-on-ones. It's high demand. You got to hit almost every shot to truly be effective, or you're most likely going to lose that fight. You got to be able to aim. You got to be mechanically good. But in terms of fighting with your team, putting damage on a tank quick and just packing it on, I think Star-Lord does that very well to a high level. And his mobility and able to teleport when he's with Rocket, his ability to escape when he needs to, and his ult having auto aim, it's pretty strong. Storm, I still think is pretty strong. Her Jeff team up is still strong. It's like people don't even run it no more. I don't even see Storm no more, unfortunately, but I think she's still strong. If I'm being frank, everything in this game mostly relies on supports. So with competent heals, Storm by far is the most impressive character with her damage boost, and if you're aiming and you're hitting your shots, she is destructive. Just don't see her live. I feel like she's a niche character. Thor. But Thor is broken. I think Thor deserves S tier. I'm biased. I don't care. I think Thor deserves S tier. I feel like he can get countered by CC, but so can everybody else in the game. So can everybody else. But I feel like Thor, on the other hand, has a higher chance to survive getting CC versus Spider-Man or Black Panther or Iron Fist getting CC'd. He can get out and he can take the damage and he can create space. I feel like, at least in the way I play him, I feel like he can create space in the same way Cap can. Not as mobile and annoying, but I feel like Thor can put in enough damage to be taken seriously, to have a team turn around and pay attention to him. And because that he gets a hammer back in his Thor Force, after you leave Thor Force, no matter what, you can make an escape enough to where you've effectively put, you know, pressure on a backline or made people get distracted, and you can also exit at the same time. I think that's very valuable in Thor now. His ult is still pretty weak, but it is still an ult that can kill through other support ults. Even without the damage boost, if you're shooting at whoever he's about to ult, you can still get value. And I think that's like really strong. I think people don't realize that. Scarlet Witch, another character I hate. I hate Scarlet Witch because of one, consistent auto aim. Two, killing Scarlet Witch solely relies on your ability to aim. I find it sometimes it's hard to shoot Scarlet Witches when they're in the air or when they're doing whatever. I think her damage is pretty buns. Like her damage is just not fast enough to effectively do damage, even with the Strange team up. In my opinion, her ult is like extremely hard to get value on, and it requires a lot. Like it literally requires so much just to get a little bit of value on it. Annoying about her the most is her ability to get healed in her like little bubble form now. That right there, I understand it being necessary, and I think it's a good thing, but it also is very annoying to go up against. Her auto aim is also annoying to go up against, and the quick burst of bubble also gets me sometimes. But besides that, in all elements of her kit, I don't think it's strong enough, because in certain comps she just can't do it. Like without a Strange team up, she's not effective enough, I don't think. Venom, S tier. Venom doesn't die. He just doesn't die. He just doesn't die. And since Emma's been banned almost every game, even if you're playing Groot into him, it's just so much damage. And I personally feel like, especially on console, no one ever shoots at Venom. And I personally don't understand it. Why are we not shooting at the one tank that can quite literally, my gripe with Venom and a lot of my like in my games are, the only way to truly stop Venom's value is you have to put damage into him. You have to. Like you have to effectively be throwing damage into Venom. You can't ignore Venom. You can't let Venom just get in the back line and just be in the back line. His ult is insane now that you get reduced healing, and I think it's like what, 40%. He doesn't die. His ult can potentially one tap. Like he gets so much value, and he stays alive for so long. It's just, he's mobile. He's incredibly mobile for a tank. He's just S tier. He's probably one of the best tanks in the game right now. Bucky, I don't care what people say. Bucky is insane right now. Bucky is so broken right now. And similar to a lot of characters that get overshield when they do things like I want to say magic, he does not die. And the thing about Bucky is Bucky isn't gonna be away from the supports. If he's smart, he's not gonna be away from any supports on the team. He's gonna play right next to them. So if you want to kill Bucky, you have to kill the rest of the team, or you have to kill the supports. Because Bucky, I'm telling you right now, he's not gonna die. He gets overshielded with every single attack that he does, and it reloads his gun. He's standing next to people who are going to pocket heal him. Unless it's a concerted effort by the entire team to kill Bucky, Bucky's not dying. And again, and again, and again, and again. It's ridiculous. His damage is ridiculous. I sometimes feel like he doesn't even have to hit you. His reticle doesn't even have to be on you, and you'll still die. What do they call him? The server admin Bucky. That's literally what he is. As soon as he comes in the game, everything is changing. Everything, every time. Doesn't matter if you're bad or good on him. Wolverine, I'm gonna be honest, I don't see a lot of Wolverine. I don't think he's C tier, but I feel like anytime I see him, he's getting just boxed up. And it's so hard for him to get value now. I don't see a lot of Wolverines getting value in my game unless it's just Groot. I feel like that's his only effective purpose right now is getting Groot. I don't see Wolverine a lot. I don't see him being effective. Even when I see him, I feel like people are learning to play against him and just make him explode or just push him out to the point where He has to go get healed, even when he's in his like little overshield, last dying breath form. I feel like he's always taking up damage that just he can't get back, and he has to always be on a flank position to give value, in my opinion. So Mr. Fantastic. Now, me personally, I like Mr. Fantastic. Earlier in the season, he was pretty strong in my eyes. As we've gotten farther down in the season, I'm learning he might be pretty weak. But he is a good counter for high burst DPS like Namor, Psylocke, even Squirrel Girl. I would say I feel like Mr. Fantastic is a good way to steady the game most of the times because you're not gonna just abruptly die. You have ways to stay alive and be a effective DPS for the team. You could put pressure by getting your ult in times where you need that extra push. If Mr. Fantastic ults, you might not die from it, but you don't want to stay in it too long. And you get slowed. So if you keep getting hit, you will die. So it's either going to warrant somebody has to ult for Mr. Fantastic, or you're going to have to waste a cooldown. I do think he can give value in certain ways. I do think he can give value in stopping immediate pressure from like dive, or I do think he's a good dive counter. I do think he can get up close and create pressure when he gets in his big form. Emma's been banned a lot, so it's easy for him to just get big and start walking with whatever tanks you have on your team. But a lot of people don't want to play tank this season, so he's solid, but he's not good enough to effectively be good in every situation. Invis is broken this season. Healing output is insane, and it's insane because her ult has literally become probably the best ult in the game now. Trapping you, slowing you, and it feels like she gets it in like 2 seconds half the time. I didn't think she was bad either way, but I did think her ult was a liability for her not having any type of like slow at the time. You just walk right out of it. But now that the slow is like you can't get out of it and you're probably gonna die. Shield has always been good, but it feels even worse now because now if you're a melee character and you're fighting against another melee character, you can't get away. Thing, I love Thing. Most of the time I feel like people effectively just destroy Thing on PC, but on console, the Thing is insane. And I'm only going to put him next to Mr. Fantastic because I feel like it's the same thing with Mr. Fantastic. Him and Mr. Fantastic on console are like pretty sturdy and very effective. I would say they're both high C, low B. But Thing, I still think he's really strong. He's just ineffective against a lot of what's in the meta right now. Though he has somewhat consistent output, it's not fast enough to not get out healed. It's always getting out healed. And because Thing is just a big old ball and he's easy to hit, he doesn't have too much mobility to get, like, even though he can jump and fly around, he hasn't got too much mobility to just keep moving like that. Like Emma counters him immediately. Groot counters him immediately. So though he can stay alive for a certain period against like tanks like maybe Strange, or if you're going up against a Hulk or Magneto, it's a lot easier to play Thing. And it's so easy to make a switch to like Penny or Emma, and Thing is completely shut down. And Punisher, Thing is completely shut down. Squirrel Girl, Thing is completely shut down. Star-Lord, completely shut down. I'm gonna put Johnny Storm right here. If I had another tier, I would put him like in the I don't know, because I feel like I haven't seen him at all. And I want to put him in a D tier just because I haven't seen him at all. I don't think he's bad, but I haven't seen him like in any games. Like he's gone. He's just poof. Like he's actually gone. Like he doesn't exist in the game anymore. So for that, I'm just gonna put him in the D tier. Like nobody plays him anymore. Emma, yeah, best tank in the game. Best tank in the game. I think behind Venom by an incredible margin. Like by a disgustingly wide margin. She can literally just do it all. She has range, consistent damage that even elevates the more consistent you are. Hard counters to almost every character in the game. Her CC is the best CC in the game, probably. She's just the best. The only downside is her ult, and even her ult is pretty good. You can set up, it can mesh well with other ults, and she doesn't. And the thing about her is she doesn't have to. You don't have to look at her. She just has to look at you. So I think that ult by far makes her even better than Daredevil. Ultron cooked. Love Ultron. I love Ultron, but I don't even think he's good in 3 hill comps anymore. Be real. I'm gonna be so real. He's definitely not good in two heal. You could get away with two heals with a good team and a smart team. Before, like maybe if you had an Ultron and an Iron Man, and then everybody else was like sustained characters, you could. But now, Ultron's cooked. Ultron's cooked. I think he can play in 3 support, but it's definitely not the same amount of effective as it was before. And I do think you have to rely more on his damage and his ult now than you had to with his heals being consistent. I think they're still kind of consistent, but not good enough to even remotely put him in the same ballpark. I think Ultron's kind of dead now. Phoenix, I think is really good, but I don't see her enough, so I'm also gonna put her in this tier. I think she's a really good DPS, but on console I don't see her, and on PC, when I do see her, she's getting cooked a lot. And I don't think she's that bad because her kit is way too good for her to be that bad. Her kit is similar to Hella's. Actually, for that, I'll just put her B. Only because I don't see her, and she got nerfed, so I think that's why I don't see her right now. I still think she's broken because she counters a lot of things. She counters Rocket's ult and Hella ult, both 2 very valuable ults that she can just counter by just being on the battlefield. Damage boost with her ult is kind of broken as well. One taps a lot of things. I just don't see her enough to get a good opinion on her. Blade, I love Blade. Actually, I'm gonna say Blade on console is B tier and PC he's C tier. So I'm gonna place him here. No, I'm gonna place him here. I think it's harder for him to get the same value as the people in this tier, but when he does, he's good. And I feel like his damage is pretty strong, and his ability to sustain himself is also pretty strong. He's good at cleaning up fights. He's really good at creating space with his ult. And he gets his ult pretty fast. Pretty fast. Teamed with certain people, he can be really broken. Like Groot and Blade are really strong. I do think you can get a lot of value in Blade. Angela. I'm gonna put her in the B tier. I think she's actually a really good tank. She can provide constant pressure in a team where where damage isn't a lot. It's a little hard. She's really team oriented. I think I played a lot of her. I think she was my most played hero last season. I think she's really good. When I go against her, she's really a pest in the back line for a lot of supports that just don't know what they're doing. But I feel like she's so easy to be countered at certain times where it's like, oof. It's like you just can't get value on her no matter what you do. Certain comps just destroy her. Like an Invis and a Bucky, you're never making it out the back line. And Bucky's always going to be in the back line. So I think her ult is really good for setup. And it could get more value if she just did more damage with her axes. If she did more damage with her axes, her ult would get so much value every time. Her health pool, I think if her health pool is just like maybe 100 higher, she'd probably be one of the best tanks in the game. I think it's a lot of things that can just destroy her and knock her off her pivot. So I don't think her getting maybe 100 more health will really affect her as much. As mobile as she is, she takes damage like that, and her shield is only 350, which that can stay the same, and she can still take the same amount of damage, but like maybe 0.2 seconds extra to stay alive. I think she's a good tank though. Daredevil is probably really broken right now. Damage output is insane. Mechanically, I think he's hard to use. I can't even say even with poor Daredevils, you're good. And I think that's what puts him at A right now, because a lot of Daredevils that don't know how to use him aren't that good and don't help anybody. But the people that do know how to use him, if you're halfway decent with him, you are going to get an absurd amount of value because his damage is so fast and so potent and effective, and it creates immediate pressure, like the same way Black Panther does, except he has a lot more survivability getting his overshield the way he does. So that's my tier list, everybody. You can look at it, you can hate it, you can love it, don't really care. I think these are the characters. I based it off of my experiences. I based it off of being on PC and on a console. You don't gotta agree with it, but I do think that I don't think my tier list is bad. I think it respects every character in the game to a certain degree. I do want to hear y'all thoughts on it in the comments. Please like, comment, share this video with a friend. Let me know what else y'all want me to do. I'm coming with the next Dispatch episode, and another episode dropped today, so I'm probably going to record that. right after this. Love you guys. Hope y'all have a good one, man. Peace.